I now give the floor to the representative of Rwanda.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Madam President, thank you again for giving me the floor and for convening this meeting. Thanks very much to Special Envoy for your leadership and for meeting regional leaders on this matter. Thanks to UN Women for your comprehensive addition briefing to today's meeting. Council members, again, thank you for inviting Rwanda and for allowing Rwanda to participate to make its own contribution to a matter of concern as a member of the Great Lakes region. Madam President, Council members, as mentioned by a few Council members, this meeting takes place 1 week after we commemorated the genocide against the Tutsi right behind us in the Geo Hall. It was just last week. The perpetrators who committed this crime fled into DRC and remain active until today. Their continued presence was one of the central reasons for the establishment of the Peace, Security, and Cooperation Framework to address that matter, among others. Madam President, Council members, since 2013, Rwanda's position has remained clear and consistent. We have fully upheld our commitments under the framework in both letter and spirit and have engaged constructively throughout all engagements. Our approach has been principled and aligned with the framework's core objective, addressing the root causes to achieve sustainable peace in our region. Yet, more than a decade later, the fundamental drivers of instability remain unchanged. This reflects not a failure in the framework itself, but a failure of implementation of the framework. Madam President, Council members, as consistently stated, Rwanda's security concerns and an ongoing existential threat remains the continued presence and tolerance of FDLR in DRC. This was before and after the signing of the framework. This group poses a direct threat to Rwanda and to regional stability. Its persistent presence contradicts commitment undertaken under the framework we are reviewing today. There can be no credible path to peace without its effective and irreversible neutralization. This issue has been consistently raised in our engagements with all special envoys, past and present, the Secretariat, the Security Council, and in all forums that are mediating for peace. Madam President, Council members, we are also witnessing, as mentioned, an escalating hate speech, ethnic targeting, and violence against Rwandaphone communities, including particularly the Banyamulenge people. The continued portrayal of these communities as foreigners, quote unquote, remains a matter of concern in the realization of the aspirations of the framework on peace and cooperation for our region. These realities point to a deep-rooted challenges that must be addressed directly. Sustainable peace cannot be built on avoidance. Madam President, Council members, the framework is grounded in collective responsibility. Peace in DRC and peace in the region are inseparable. Selective implementation and selective accountability will not deliver results. We welcome ongoing efforts including the ceasefire arrangements and the processes in Washington and Doha. Rwanda continues to support practical interim measures as well, including a call for a buffer or interposition force to stabilize the situation while political processes advance. Madam President, Council members, allow me to pose two questions Rwanda has consistently raised in all implementation discussions and in this Council. First, how do we explain that 13 years after this establishment and the signing of the framework, the root causes remain unaddressed, unchanged, including the neutralization of FDLR? Two, how do we account for persistence of hate speech, exclusion, and persecution of an entire community? Madam President, these issues remain unresolved. What basis do we have to expect a different outcome? Madam President, Council members, after 13 years, the path forward is clear. The commitments are known, and what is required is full, consistent, and good faith implementation, and aligning the framework with the other mechanisms to avoid fragmentation. Rwanda's commitment has remained unchanged since 2013. We remain engaged constructively and in alignment with the aspirations that were contained in the framework itself. But the success for the framework depends on all parties meeting the obligation fully and without exception. As said, there is no military solution to this crisis. Only genuine return to the principles of the framework, accountability, cooperation, and mutual respect will remain and will deliver sustainable peace for our region. I thank you, Madam President.